My name is James. I remember the time when I was a little boy, shy and afraid to speak English. I grew up in a small town where most people spoke a different language. One day I met Amelia. She was new to our town and she only spoke English. I wanted to talk to her, but I couldn't. I felt so small, so embarrassed. That day I promised myself I would learn to speak English fluently, no matter what. I started my journey to learn English, not knowing where to begin. But I didn't give up. I knew that if I could speak English well, my world would be bigger. I could make more friends, travel to new places, and maybe one day talk to Amelia without feeling scared. So I worked hard. Tip 1: talk to yourself in English. When I was alone, I would talk to myself in English. I would say simple things like, I am going to school, or I like apples. This helped me think in English. One day my friend Robert saw me talking to myself and laughed. I felt silly, but I knew it was helping me. I didn't stop. Tip 2: read simple books every day. I started reading small books, like storybooks for kids. It made me feel like I was learning something new. Each word I learned was like a little step closer to my goal. Tip 3: practice with a mirror. I stood in front of the mirror, looking at myself. I would say, "Hello, my name is James," and pretend I was talking to someone. It made me feel more confident. One day I met Daniel, who was very good at English. He told me, "James, just keep practicing. You will get better." His words gave me hope. Tip 4: listen to English songs. I started listening to my favorite songs in English. The music made learning fun. I would sing along, even if I didn't know all the words. It was okay to make mistakes. Tip 5: don't be afraid to make mistakes. I used to feel so scared when I made a mistake. But then I met a girl named Mia. She was so good at English, but she told me that even she made mistakes sometimes. It made me feel better. Tip 6: watch English movies with subtitles. I watched movies like Finding Nemo with English subtitles. I listened to the words and read them at the same time. It helped me understand how people speak in real life. One day I tried to talk to a stranger in English. I said, "How are you?" and they smiled at me. I felt so proud. My little steps were turning into big ones. Tip 7: find a language partner. I found a friend, Olivia, who was also learning English. We practiced together. When one of us made a mistake, the other would help. We laughed a lot, but we also learned a lot. Tip 8: use new words every day. I learned to use at least one new word every day. If I learned the word beautiful, I would say, "The sky is beautiful," or "You have a beautiful smile." This helped me remember the word better. Tip 9: think in English. I tried to think in English, even if it was hard. When I woke up in the morning, I would say in my mind, "I will brush my teeth," instead of saying it in my language. It was a big change for me. Tip 10: write a diary in English. I started writing my thoughts in a small notebook. It was like my secret diary. I wrote about my day, my dreams, and my fears. It helped me express myself better. One rainy day, I was feeling sad because learning was hard. I cried, thinking I would never speak like Amelia or my friend David. But then I remembered why I started. I wanted to be able to say, "Hello, Amelia. How are you?" without feeling scared. Tip 11. Celebrate small wins. Every time I learned a new word or spoke a sentence without mistakes, I celebrated. I told myself, "You are doing great, James. Keep going." Tip 12. Ask questions. I was not afraid to ask questions. If I didn't know a word, I would ask my teacher or my friends. It's okay not to know everything. Tip 13. Speak slowly and clearly. At first, I spoke very fast because I was nervous. But then I learned to slow down. It's better to speak slowly and be understood. Tip 14. Join English speaking groups. I joined a small group where everyone spoke English. At first I was quiet, but slowly I started talking more. It was hard, but it was worth it. One evening I told my friend Charlotte, "I feel like giving up." She looked at me and said, "James, you have come so far. Don't stop now." Her words made me strong again. Tip 15. Learn from your favorite TV shows. I loved watching a show called Friends. The characters made me laugh, and I learned many new words from them. It was like learning while having fun. Tip 16. Use flashcards for new words. I made small flashcards with new words and their meanings. I carried them in my pocket and looked at them whenever I had time. Tip 17. Repeat what you hear. If I heard someone say, "Have a nice day," I would repeat it in my mind. Repeating words helped me remember them better. Tip 18. Practice in real-life situations. When I went to a shop, I tried to speak to the cashier in English. Even if I said only a few words, I felt good. Tip 19. Learn English with a friend. Learning with a friend like George made it more fun. We had small competitions to see who could learn more words in a week. Tip 20. Listen to English podcasts. I listened to podcasts while going to school. The speakers talked slowly and I could understand their words. It was like having a lesson while walking. Tip 21. Use simple words first. I used simple words in the beginning. I didn't try to speak difficult words. Step by step, I added more words to my sentences. Tip 22. Practice every day. I made a rule for myself to practice English for at least 10 minutes every day. Even on busy days, I didn't break this rule. Tip 23. Smile when you speak. I learned that smiling makes you feel less nervous. When I smiled, people were kinder, and they understood me better. Tip 24. Make mistakes proudly. I learned that making mistakes is part of learning. When I made a mistake, I told myself, "It's okay, James. You are learning." Tip 25. Learn words and phrases. I learned to say good morning instead of just morning. Learning phrases made it easier to remember how to use words. Tip 26. Be patient with yourself. I was not perfect in one day, and that was okay. I learned to be patient and kind to myself. Tip 27. Practice listening more. I spent time listening to English conversations. The more I listened, the more I understood how to speak naturally. Tip 28. Use online tools. I found some online apps that helped me practice my speaking. It felt like a game, and I liked learning this way. Tip 29. Find your favorite English word. My favorite word became hope. Every time I felt down, I would say, hope. It gave me strength to continue. Tip 30. Keep going, no matter what. There were days when I felt like I would never speak English fluently. But I kept going, one step at a time. And finally, I remember the day I met Amelia again. I looked at her, took a deep breath, and said, "Hi, Amelia. How are you today?" She smiled and replied. We talked for a long time that day, and I didn't feel scared. My journey was not easy, but it was worth it. English helped me make new friends, visit new places, and understand new ideas. It opened doors for me that I never knew were there. And every time I speak, I remember all the little steps I took, all the words I learned, and all the tears I shed. Learning English is not just about words, it's about believing in yourself. It's about not giving up even when it's hard. If you're on the same journey, don't stop. Keep learning, keep speaking, and one day you'll be telling your own story. That day with Amelia was just the beginning. I felt like I had climbed a big mountain, but I knew there were more peaks to reach. My English journey was still going on, and I had so much more to learn. The smile on Amelia's face when I spoke to her gave me new energy. It made me believe that anything is possible if you don't give up. Tip 31. Use your feelings. I learned to use my emotions when I spoke English. When I was happy, I would say, "I am so excited today." When I was sad, I would say, "I am feeling down." Speaking with feeling made my words stronger. One day I was sitting in the park, and I saw a little girl crying because she couldn't speak English well. Her name was Sophia. She told me, "I feel like I will never learn." I looked at her and said, "I used to feel the same way, Sophia. But look at me now. I'm still learning, but I'm not giving up." We sat there together, practicing small words, and she started to smile. Tip 32. Surround yourself with English. I surrounded myself with English everywhere I went. I put small notes on my walls with English words. When I brushed my teeth, I would see the word toothbrush on my mirror. This way, I never stopped learning. Tip 33. Practice with English games. I found that playing games like word puzzles and crosswords in English made learning fun. It didn't feel like studying, it felt like a game I wanted to win. One evening, I was practicing my words when my friend John called me. He sounded upset. He said, "James, I don't think I can learn English. It's too hard for me." I could hear the sadness in his voice. I told him, "John, remember when we learned how to ride a bike? We fell many times, but we got up again. Learning English is just like that. Don't give up." Tip 34. Read English quotes for motivation. I started reading short quotes in English every day. One of my favorites was, "Believe you can, and you're halfway there." These words gave me hope on days when I felt like giving up. Tip 35. Imagine your future in English. I closed my eyes and imagined myself speaking English fluently in front of a big audience. I imagined all the places I could go and the people I could meet. This dream kept me going. Tip 36. Tell your story in English. I practice telling my story in English to my friends. I talked about my journey, my struggles, and my small victories. It made me feel proud of how far I had come. Tip 37. Use a journal to write your dreams in English. I wrote my dreams and goals in a journal. Writing in English made me think clearly, and it helped me focus on what I wanted to achieve. One cold night, I was walking home when I saw my friend Michael. He was sitting alone, looking lost. I asked him what was wrong, and he said, "I feel like I'll never speak English well." "It's too hard." I put my hand on his shoulder and said, "Michael, every journey starts with one step. You've already taken that step by trying. Keep going, and you will get there." Tip 38. Learn English songs to sing. I learned to sing my favorite songs in English. Singing made my words flow better, and it helped me remember phrases and sentences. Tip 39. Practice speaking to pets or toys. When I was alone, I would talk to my dog Max in English. He never judged me if I made a mistake. This practice made me feel more confident. Tip 40. Use simple sentences to describe your day. I started telling my day in English, like today I went to the park, or I had a great lunch. Simple sentences helped me build my confidence. Tip 41. Turn your mistakes into lessons. Whenever I made a mistake, I would laugh and learn from it. I stopped feeling bad about making errors and started seeing them as steps to getting better. One day, Amelia asked me, "James, how did you get so good at English?" I smiled and said, "I never stopped learning. Every day I tried a little more." Her smile was my reward, and I knew my journey was worth every tear and every struggle. Tip 42. Find inspiration in English stories. I started reading stories about people who learned English and changed their lives. These stories inspired me to keep going even on the hardest days. Tip 43. Practice thinking out loud in English. I would say my thoughts out loud in English when I was alone. It felt strange at first, but soon it became natural. Tip 44. Turn your fears into motivation. I was afraid of speaking in front of people, but I used that fear to make me stronger. I practiced more because I didn't want to let my fear stop me. Tip 45. Find the joy in small successes. Every time I spoke a new word correctly or had a short conversation in English, I felt so happy. These small successes were my fuel to keep learning. I still remember the day I finally told Amelia how much I admired her in English. I said, "Amelia, you are my inspiration. You made me want to learn and be better." She looked at me with tears in her eyes and said, "James, you've come so far. I'm proud of you." Tip 46. Teach someone else. I started helping others who were struggling with English, just like I once was. Teaching them helped me learn even more. Seeing them improve made me feel like I was making a difference. Tip 47. Listen to how native speakers talk. I would listen to how people like Daniel or David spoke English. I learned to copy their pronunciation and the way they used words. Tip 48. Practice patience. Learning English took time, and I learned to be patient with myself. I told myself that every word I learned was a step closer to my goal. Tip 49: believe in yourself. No matter how many times I felt like giving up, I always told myself, "You can do it, James. You are stronger than you think." Tip 50: never stop trying. My journey is still going on, and I know I will never stop trying to be better. Every day I learn something new, and I grow a little more. English has changed my life. It helped me find my voice, my confidence, and my courage. It opened doors to new friendships, new places, and new dreams. And every time I speak, I remember that little boy who couldn't say a word to Amelia. Now, I talk to her every day, and we laugh together in English. To anyone who is reading this, if you ever feel like you can't do it, remember my story. Remember that even when I cried and wanted to give up, I kept going. And if I can do it, so can you. What's your English journey like? Tell me your story, and let's keep learning together.